to the tribe of the forgotten, the misfits, the ones who wear silence like a crown of thorns carved by their enemies. This is your fire, your anthem, your chaos. I am not here to comfort you. I am here to rip the mask off your weakness and show you the reflection you've been hiding from. Look at it. Feel it. Own it. Because in the shadows where they buried you, that's where you learned to sharpen your teeth. They thought being near you was ordinary, a casual privilege they never valued. They drained your energy, mocked your hunger, laughed at your scars. But here's the brutal truth. They were only rehearsing for the day your silence would choke them harder than your words ever could. They forgot you were the storm. They forgot storms don't beg to be noticed. They crash. They destroy. They remind. You see, people don't respect presence. They respect absence. And when you pulled back, when you vanished into that cold silence, they felt it. The emptiness screamed louder than any voice you could have used. That's when the tremors started. That's when they realized the fire they took for granted was no longer theirs to enjoy. Now the burn belongs to you. The scars belong to them. This isn't nice guy motivation. This is chaos motivation. Raw, brutal, unforgiving. I'm not telling you to smile and move on. I'm telling you to weaponize the pain they handed you. Turn every dismissal into fuel. Turn every laugh into a hammer. Build your throne out of the insults they thought would break you. Sit on it. Smile at them. Watch them choke on the silence you transformed into power. So tell me, how many times did they underestimate you? How many times did they pretend your presence was nothing? Count it. Feel it. Write it. Then remind yourself every time they ignored your worth, you grew sharper. Every time they pushed you down, you carved a darker path forward. And now you're not the person they left behind. You are the fire walking back into their world. And here's the twist. They'll try to come back. They always do. But now it's different. You're no longer the quiet one in the corner waiting to be chosen. You are the chaos they cannot control. You are the silence that rips through their comfort. And when they stand in front of you again, trembling, gasping for the old version of you, whisper back the truth. It was a privilege to be near me, and you lost it. Silence. It's not emptiness. It's not weakness. It's a blade. Sharper than any scream. Sharper than any fit. They never saw it coming. They thought silence meant surrender. But silence is war without sound. It's the battlefield they can't escape. Because it's inside their own heads. You didn't shout. You didn't argue. You didn't beg. You vanished. And that's when their minds started to bleed. Do you feel that power? The way they replay your absence like a broken record. Every laugh they gave at your expense now echoes back, stabbing them in the dark. They underestimated silence. But silence doesn't forgive. It lingers. It crawls. It suffocates. It forces them to sit in the hollow of their own arrogance, begging for the noise you used to give them. Now all they hear is the storm of nothingness, and nothingness is brutal. Here's the truth. They only valued you when you stopped feeding. Like parasites, they starved when your energy was gone. And in their starvation, they remembered. Hard. They remembered your presence was oxygen. They remembered your words were weight. They remembered your silence was punishment. That's the trick of silence. It doesn't shout its value. It makes them discover it when it's too late. But don't get it twisted. Silence isn't for them. It's for you. It's your weapon. It's your reset. It's the mirror that showed you your own strength. In the stillness, you learned who you were without their noise. You realized their validation was just dust. You realized you never needed them to see you, because you were always there waiting for the moment to unleash. Silence didn't break you, it rebuilt you. So here's your move. Don't run from silence. Don't fear it. Own it. Let them drown in the absence they created. Let them feel the punishment of your withdrawal. And when they crawl back, desperate for the sound of you, stand tall, stand quiet, and let them know the silence they feared is the new language of your power. Now tell me, how long will you let them choke on it? How long will you let them sit in the hell of their own memory of you? Because silence isn't the end, it's the beginning of your dominance. And once you master it, no one can touch you again. Underestimation, that's their favorite drug. They sip it, they laugh with it, they look at you and see nothing but smallness. And that's exactly why you're dangerous. Because underestimated people don't announce their rise. They sharpen their knives in the dark. They build their empires in silence. They don't beg for a stage. They build one from the bones of those who mocked them. Listen to me. Every time they looked down on you, they handed you a weapon. Every smirk, every insult, every dismissal, those weren't wounds, they were blueprint. They mapped out your revenge without even knowing it. And now as you rise, every step forward slices through the memory of their laughter. That's the cost of underestimation. It always backfires. Always. People think you're weak until you stop playing their game. They think you're harmless until you step out of the corner. And then suddenly, they're scared. They're confused. They don't know how the quiet one, the overlooked one, became the force shaking their world. That's the beauty of underestimation. It blinds them. And blindness is fate. So ask yourself, how many times have they laughed at your silence? How many times have they mocked your plans? Count them, stack them, and every single time they underestimated you, add it to the fire. Because when that fire ignites, when the storm finally breaks loose, they'll have no defense. They'll choke on the smoke of their own arrogance. And here's the truth, they never feared you, because they thought you couldn't hurt them. But now, they'll never forget you. They'll never sleep peacefully again, because the memory of underestimating you will haunt them louder than any words you could scream. You became the consequence they never calculated. You became the price they never wanted to pay. So let them underestimate you again. Let them laugh. Let them point. Because every laugh is another nail in their own coffin. And every underestimation is another reason for you to rise higher, darker, stronger. They forgot the cost of underestimating you, and now they're paying in fear. Obedience. That's the chain they wrapped around your neck since the beginning. Sit here, speak like this. Don't step too far. Don't dream too loud. And you listened for a while, but every chain tightens until breathing feels like drowning. That's when rebellion is born. Not from hate, not from rage, from survival, from the refusal to stay small. Rebellion isn't noise in the streets. It's the voice in your skull whispering no more. It's the moment you stop bowing. The second you stop asking, the instant you realize their approval was never worth your silence. Obedience is a cage disguised as safety. Rebellion is the crack in the wall, the first breath of fresh air after years of suffocation. You were never meant to be tamed. That's why you feel restless. That's why your skin burns when someone tries to put you in a box. That's not weakness. That's the pulse of rebellion. The fire in your veins is not madness. It's awakening. And if you don't unleash it, it will rot you alive from the inside. Look at them. The ones who obey, the ones who nod, the ones who never question. They walk in straight lines to nowhere. Empty eyes, empty lives. They call it order. I call it decay. Because every person who obeys without thought is a ghost pretending to be alive. And you're not a ghost. You're a storm waiting for thunder. So break the rules they worship. Smash the boxes they built. Burn the scripts they handed you. Rebellion is not destruction. It's creation. Creation of a self they never wanted you to discover. Creation of a voice they hoped would stay buried. Creation of a power that terrifies them. Because nothing scares the obedient more than the sight of someone walking free. And remember this, rebellion isn't asking for permission. It isn't waiting for a green light. It's stepping into the street when the light is red and daring the world to stop you. It's laughing in the face of order. It's claiming chaos as your crown. You don't need their rules anymore. You are the rule. You are the rebellion.
Rage. They told you to hide it, bury it, smile instead. But rage doesn't die in silence. It grows. It mutates.
It claws at your ribs until it rips its way out. That's why so many break, because they were told to cage their fire, not command it. Rage is not weakness. Rage is not madness. Rage is raw electricity waiting for someone bold enough to hold it. Feel it. The heat in your chest when they disrespect you, the fire in your skull when they dismiss you. That's not poison, that's fuel. That's your body screaming, do something. Rage is the alarm clock that shakes you awake when comfort tries to lull you back to sleep. It's the spark that burns through excuses, the energy that won't let you settle for scraps. But here's the trick. Rage left wild will eat you alive. It will make you self-destruct. It will turn you into ashes. The key isn't to kill it. The key is to aim it. Channel it into the grind, into the silence, into every step forward that spits in the face of those who doubted you. Rage plus direction equals power. Rage without direction equals chaos that swallows you whole. Think about it. Every great move you've ever made came from fire, not calm. Calm keeps you safe. Rage pushes you over the edge into places they said you couldn't go. Rage is the reason you rise when logic says stay down. Rage is the reason you move mountains when reason says impossible. Rage is your secret weapon, they just never wanted you to use it. So don't apologize for it, don't hide it, don't swallow it until it burns you from the inside. Let it flow, let it move. Forge it into something lethal. A blade they can't see until it's pressed against their arrogance. Rage is not your enemy. Rage is your revolution. Rage is your rebirth. And when they see you rise, eyes blazing, smile sharp, aura untouchable, they'll know that fire wasn't their gift to you. It was their punishment from you. Rage turned into progress is the most terrifying thing anyone can face. And now, they'll face it in you. Chains. They don't always look like steel. Sometimes they look like comfort, like routine, like a smile from someone who wants you small. That's the trick. They don't need to lock you in a cell when they can lock you in their expectations. Invisible chains are heavier than iron because you wear them without even knowing. You start believing they fit. But here's the truth. Every chain around you was built for their ease, not your strength. They wanted you predictable, tame, manageable. And you played along, didn't you? You sat in their cage convincing yourself it was safety, convincing yourself it was love, convincing yourself that shrinking was noble. But every time you bent your back to fit their mold, a piece of you died. Listen, chains don't break on their own. You don't politely ask for freedom. You tear it, you rip it, you bleed for it if you must. Because once you taste the air without those chains, you'll never tolerate them again. That's the rebirth moment. That's when they lose control forever. Do you feel that itch under your skin? That restless energy at night that won't let you sleep? That's not anxiety. That's not madness. That's the weight of chains your body is begging you to destroy. That's your soul screaming for rebellion. It's telling you enough pretending, enough shrinking, enough silence. Break it before it breaks you. And when you finally snap them, when you walk away from their comfort, their rules, their control, they'll call you dangerous. They'll call you crazy. They'll call you lost. But that's just fear talking. Fear of someone they can't control anymore. Fear of someone who saw the cage for what it was and burned it to the ground. So hear me. You were never meant to live chained. You were never meant to obey blindly. You were meant to rip through walls, to terrify the systems that underestimated you, to stand tall in chaos and claim it as your throne. Break the chains. Break their order. Break their illusion. Freedom isn't given. It's taken. And it's yours now. They wanted you small, predictable, easy to ignore. They never saw the storm brewing behind your quiet eye. They mistook stillness for weakness. They mistook silence for surrender. But storms aren't loud when they're forming. They're silent. They build. They twist. They become something no one can stop. And when they finally break, everything in their path changes forever. This is the part they never expected. Your transformation. The version of you they used to play with, manipulate, dismiss is gone. Dead. Burned to ash. What walks back into their world now is sharper, colder, stronger. They don't recognize you because you're not supposed to be recognized. You evolved in the dark. You became something new while they were busy underestimating you. Think about it. Every sleepless night, every insult, every humiliation, you were building. They just couldn't see it. You were training in silence. You were shaping your edges. You were learning to stand without their approval. And now when you finally show up, you're not just a person. They're facing the consequence of everything they did to you. And watch how they react. Their eyes widen. Their voices crack. They start whispering about you like a rumor they can't control. They don't know whether to fear you or beg for you. They don't know whether to run or kneel. That's transformation. That's power. That's the price of underestimation turned into a living storm. Here's the secret. You didn't just grow. You became a mirror of every slight, every wound, every time they thought you were nothing. When they look at you now, they don't see you. They see themselves, their mistakes, their arrogance, their loss. And that's the punishment that hits hard. So step into the room as the new you. Don't explain. Don't apologize. Don't soften the edges. Let them feel the storm. Let them choke on the silence. Let them understand, without you saying a word, that you're not theirs anymore. You're not small anymore. You're the transformation they never saw coming. And now it's too late to stop it. Look into the mirror. Stare at it long enough, and the mask you've been wearing starts to melt. What's left isn't the polite version they liked. What's left isn't the broken version they wanted. What's left is raw, unfiltered, dangerous. The mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the scars they gave you. It shows you the fire you built from them. It shows you the face they never wanted to meet. The mirror is brutal. It whispers truths no one dares to say out loud. It tells you you're not who you were yesterday. It tells you you're not who they think you are. It tells you you're a storm disguised as skin. And when you finally believe it, when you finally accept the reflection, staring back, that's the moment you become untouchable. Most people can't handle their own reflection. They flee, they look away, they cover their eyes, because they're scared of what they'll find. But not you. You stared into it until the old you cracked and fell apart. You stared into it until the chaos inside you stopped being an enemy and became an ally. That's why you're dangerous now. You're no longer running from your own darkness. You're wielding it. Feel that. The power in not hiding. The power in showing up exactly as you are, scarred, sharpened, and unashamed. That's what terrifies them. Not your words, not your silence, but the fact that you've accepted every piece of yourself they tried to make you hate. They can't use your past against you anymore. You've already carved it into your armor. The mirror is your proof. Proof that every scar became a blade. Proof that every wound became a weapon. Proof that the darkness they mocked became your crown. You are not half. You are not incomplete. You are not broken. You are whole, because you accepted what they couldn't. So stand in front of that mirror and smile. Smile like the Joker smiles. Not because you're happy, but because you know the truth. You are no longer the person they underestimated. You are no longer the reflection they remember. You are the mirror itself now, reflecting back everything they feared you'd become. And there's nothing more powerful than that.